Hello, welcome back. It's a bit of a late one. I intended to do this a bit late today, but not this late. It's just gone 11 p.m. Um, but yeah, here I am. And it has been quite the eventful day. So woke up this morning and found out that a nearby water pipe, the one that led to our house, had burst. And so we didn't have water for most of today, which was an interesting challenge to overcome. Now, this might have happened before in the past. I don't remember. I feel like something similar has happened, but yeah, we had no water, so the taps didn't work. Anything that uses water didn't work, obviously, right? It made quite a few things quite difficult. We have two toilets at this house, an upstairs toilet and a downstairs toilet. We had to shift to all using the downstairs toilet just because it was easier to refill with the bucket. Because we had to, every time we flushed the toilet, we had to refill it using water from elsewhere because the pipes weren't working. So we would take this bucket, go outside, and we have like this it's basically like a big barrel, a big plastic barrel that catches rainwater. And at the bottom, it has a small tap, so you can turn it on or off, and you'll get water. We had to go outside with this bucket and fill the bucket up with this rainwater that had collected in this barrel, and then come back inside and refill the cistern at the back of the toilet. And that we had to do it every single time we flushed. So that happened quite a few times today. And what made this whole situation just a little bit worse, and also a little bit ironic, is that it was raining today. It was raining for quite a few hours earlier today, which was really kind of just rubbing salt in the wound at that point. But yeah, because of the lack of water, it's been a somewhat stressful day. I've had to come up with new ways to wash my hands. Thankfully, the water company stopped by our house like mid-morning, and they dropped off 6 2-liter bottles of water. So they actually gave us water for free, which was considerate. But we didn't need it for drinking. We already have bottled water for that. I used it to wash my hands, which, yeah, was an interesting endeavor as well, because I didn't realize until I had already done it twice that there was a much easier way of washing my hands. The first 2 times I wet my like I poured one of the bottles onto one of my hands, so one of my hands was wet, and then I poured the same bottle on my other hand, so then both of my hands were wet, and then I used my soap, like my hand soap. And then I was in a bit of a predicament because I had two soapy hands and no way to pour the water again without getting soap all over the outside of the bottle, which would have inconvenienced anyone who wanted to do or use the bathroom after me. So I came up with this like really awkward position where I was balancing the bottle over the sink, like horizontally, and I had one finger inside the bottle holding it up while it was pouring water out onto my other hand, and then I did the same thing again. It was a whole thing. It was very awkward. And after I did that for the second time, I realized there's a much easier way to do this, which was to plug the sink, pour water into the sink, and basically just kind of wash my hands in a small bath of water and then soap and then, yeah. So it was a whole thing. Overall, it wasn't actually that big of an inconvenience, and thankfully they fixed the problem pretty quickly. So we weren't out of water for a long time, but yeah, that definitely added to the stress of today. To be honest, it was kind of like the main contributor to the stress, but yeah, in the moment it felt worse than it actually was. But we have water now; everything's back to normal. So yeah, the lack of water, by the way, also meant that I could not have a shower today. So I'm definitely going to have one tomorrow. And because I couldn't have a shower this morning, I had to cancel my dentist appointment, which it wasn't like a proper appointment, like a checkup, because I've had one of those recently. It was to talk about getting what's it called? Like the teeth teeth straightening treatment. My teeth aren't perfect, and to be honest, that has been a point of insecurity for quite a long time. They're not like horrible. Like they're okay. They're just not perfect. And I think because I have I have a degree of OCD, and I also have a degree of perfectionism. Like I like things to be a certain way, and I like them to be done in my way, sort of thing. Like that's kind of how I go through life, and so the fact that my teeth aren't perfectly straight bothers me, and it has affected me for as long as I can remember. When I smile, for a photo, for example, I don't show my teeth, and back when I was in school, and I would like laugh in front of friends, I would often like cover my mouth when I laughed because I didn't want them, to see my teeth. And again, they're not even that bad, but they're just not perfect like I would want them to be, and like I see in other people. And I think it would be a great boost to my confidence if they were better. So I was hoping to go to the dentist today and discuss how the process of that treatment would work, and if it would be possible to get started on that treatment before I went away to university. Because I know that you need to have like weekly visits with your dentist after you begin the treatment, because they want to make sure that everything is like working as it should be, and stuff like that. And then after those initial meetings, you can kind of just continue the treatment without much intervention. But I wanted to ask if there was enough time between now and when I leave to get through that process. That's what the point of the appointment was today. But like I said, I had to cancel because I didn't feel comfortable turning up not having showered in the morning. Yeah. And I was also planning, after that appointment, I was planning on getting my hair cut again, because my last haircut, I specifically asked them to make it a bit longer, because I just wanted it to look somewhat reasonable before the trip to visit family. And then afterwards I was going to get it done again, and that was supposed to be today. But again, I couldn't have a shower, so I couldn't wash my hair. I'm definitely not turning up to get my hair cut if my hair isn't clean. So, yeah. The lack of water today affected those two things, which, just kind of added more problems into the works, but it's fine. I can reschedule. I'm probably going to have to go through with that treatment once I'm at university. I'll have to register with a new dentist, and basically just start then instead of now. But yeah. And then after all of that stuff happened, my afternoon was fairly uneventful. I took Luna out for a walk around midday. We had a fairly nice walk, but ran into a few complications along the way. Mainly just noisy children and horses. Because the park that we went to today is not the normal park that we go to. It's one very close to us, the same place where I used to walk Luna when we first got her. We just decided to go there for quickness and a less stressful journey. Because I don't think I've talked about this before, but Luna has a really, really bad habit of barking at other people and dogs while we are traveling in the car to our destination, which is usually the park. I don't know where this behavior has come from, and it's really hard to deal with while in transit, because we're both in the front of the car, she's in the back of the car, and she's just going crazy. If she sees a dog, she'll bark at them, and it's just very distracting, very noisy, and not a pleasant time. So we went to a closer park today, but when we got there, we encountered a lot of noisy children, and that's another thing that Luna will bark at, although she's not as bad with them. It's usually just when children are running around screaming, or if they're like riding a bike or on a scooter or something like that. It makes Luna nervous when they're doing things like that, so she'll bark at them, but that's all she'll do. We never allow it to go any further than that. then later on in the walk, we encountered a couple of horses riding through the park. And that kind of disrupted things slightly, but it was fine. In the end, we just circled back around, and she had a fine walk. Like it was fine. And then came home after that. Like I said, this afternoon was pretty uneventful. But to top it all off, this evening, while I was watching YouTube videos, I was sat in my dark bedroom because my lamp doesn't work anymore. I used to have like a bedside lamp that I would turn on during the evenings. Like a month ago, the bulb, what's the word? Like the bulb stopped working, basically. And since then I haven't had a replacement. So I don't have a means to light up my room during the evening. So I've been sat here basically in the darkness, and it's only been lit up by my computer screen. But as I was watching a YouTube video, this small but instantly noticeable silhouette of a spider was slowly not falling, but I don't know what the word would be, descending. This small spider was slowly descending, attached to its own web, right in front of my monitor. So I instantly noticed it, and I instantly got up from my chair, my desk, and I spent the next few minutes kind of not freaking out, because I mean it wasn't that big of a spider, but if it was any bigger, then I probably would have freaked out just a little bit. The weirdest thing about this encounter was the fact that the spider was already dead, and somehow it was descending on its web while dead. It was dead, like no question about it. When it landed on my desk, it didn't move. And then a few minutes later, when I tried to remove it, I got like an envelope, and I was trying to scoop it onto this envelope so I could throw it away. It didn't move when I touched it with the envelope. So, definitely dead. But very strange to see a dead spider descending from the ceiling right in front of your eyes. I don't think I've ever seen that before. So, it was a brief moment of panic, but it was quickly extinguished because I realized the spider was dead. And it was fine, and I dealt with it, and it's gone now, so I'm happy. But that's been my day. It's been a bit of a roller coaster. Many things have happened. I'm tired, and I'm ready for bed. So I guess I will call it here now, and I'll be back tomorrow for the next one. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time. Good night.